Hello, Professor McEwen here, and what we're going to look at this video is how to do the opinion discussion question. So, in your opinion, well, what does that mean? Well, everyone has an opinion on something, whether it's the best actor, singer, movie, video game, basketball, football player, etc. But what makes one opinion stronger than another's opinion? In other words, what does it make it valid? Well, an opinion is not valid unless it's backed up by a series of facts and also analysis. So let's take a look of an example of a bad opinion versus a good opinion. Both are opinions. Let's use for sake of argument, in your opinion, who was the worst president of the United States history? Donald Trump's the worst president in the history of the United States because how he handled COVID-19 and he is a racist. Or on the opposite side, Joe Biden's the worst president in history of the United States because he let 10 million illegal immigrants cross the border, a majority of them criminals. Now, this is mostly really political opinion and more is like propaganda. There might be just a little hint of truth, but there's no facts, there's no analysis, there's nothing to back it up. Compare it to this one, which would be a good opinion. James Buchanan is the worst president in the history of the United States. Since presidential surveys have been conducted by historians, Buchanan has always finished last. He was president when South Carolina seceded from the Union. Other states would follow, creating the Confederate States of America. He did nothing to prevent this, unlike President Jackson did earlier, and the result was the American Civil War, the bloodiest conflict in U.S. history, over 700,000 killed, more than all the wars fought in U.S. history. So as you can see, when you're looking at the two, the last one has a lot of facts, has analysis, and is backed up and makes a good, valid opinion. So let's look at the requirements. The good news is this class is no longer designated as a college competition in communication skills requirement. I'm so happy to hear that. So these are just informal assignments. But that doesn't mean you write it like sending a text message in your cell phone. These are the basic requirements. First, at least 2 paragraphs. 5 is the maximum number of paragraphs. Paragraphs should be 3 to 5 sentences. It must be at least 100 words, maximum 500 words. Yes, if you write 99 words, it's not 100 words, and you will be penalized. Next one, you must contain 2 facts with analysis of those facts. Just don't state the facts or list a laundry list of facts. Explain to the reader what those facts mean. Spelling, punctuation, and grammar do count, so make sure you capitalize things, especially like things like United States. Submit to the assignment to check for similarity. It's 25% or less. If it's good to go, then go ahead and send it. And post it to the discussion and respond to at least one student in the class. If you're new to Turnitin system, you might want to ask the question, what is the similarity score? Well, the similarity score is the percentage that comes from your paper that is similar to other sources Turnitin finds, whether it's other students writing, books, internet, or anything else. But understand the textbook you're using in this class is in Turnitin system and sometimes comes up under Course Hero. The video lectures in the new Colossus that pertain to my class, so AMH 2010 and AMH 2020 classes in specific, are also in Turnitin system. So to check for similarity, once you post it, just go back and see what the similarity score is. If it's 25% or low, and yes, 0% is excellent, that means none of it has shown up. Now, if you get over 25%, usually what I found is that students have been borrowed heavily from the book, thinking they could get away with it, not understanding that the entire textbook or the new Colossus, for example, is all in Turnitin system, and that's what's taking a hit. Also, do not include the discussion question in your work, as that will show up as well. Citations are not required. However, if you want to be safe, it's always better to be safe than sorry. You only can use the textbook, the video lectures, and the new Colossus, and you could cite it in the MLA, APA, or Chicago Manual of Style. It doesn't matter which form of citations you use. Final tips and takeaway. Start early. Do not wait until the last hour because bad things are known to happen. Trust me, I've been doing this for over 20 years and it always happens in the last hour. Try to get it done, especially if you got work on a Friday afternoon or Friday night. Don't put yourself in that position. You're trying to rush home and complete the discussion, and then you're like, okay, I'll just cut and paste what I got from this book or the new Colossus, and then you can get in trouble for plagiarism. So please don't plagiarize. If suspected, I will use Turnitin to check. If I suspect AI, I will also check that as well. If discovered, no credit will be given to you. Also, I will also check previous discussion works for plagiarism, comparing how badly plagiarized the discussion may be. And if discovered, this will lead to failure of the course. Do not forget to respond to one student. 2 points can go a very long way. I actually had a student miss passing the class because the student refused to ever respond to another student. They had some good work, but unfortunately, those little points added up and it cost them in the end. Do not use artificial intelligence. As I try to tell my students, if you have to use AI to get through college and write your papers, AI will replace you in the future. So, feel free to email me or contact me during office hours if you have any other questions, and I look forward to reading your discussions.